Exercise 3. In this one I want to hit constraints just a little bit more, so I'll show you how to utilize those features a little better. So we're going to go to Create, Document, Exercise 3. And we've already used the sketch tool, so use your sketch plane, create it on the front plane, N for normalize, and I like to turn off all those fields or planes. You don't actually have to do that. I just think it cleans it up and makes it easier to understand. So over here it's just kind of somewhere away from our origin. And on your first couple drawings I had you anchor to this origin right away. And just to show you a few more constraint tools, we're going to start away from that. And we're going to just sketch in our lines. And it actually doesn't matter if everything's exact. So I've gotten to this point and I need an arc, so I'm going to hit Escape. I'm going to select my tangent arc. And nothing has to be perfect. The constraint tools are going to make everything nice and powerful for us so that it's all lined up the way we want it. So you can see I have a crooked line here, I have a crooked line here. This isn't tangent, even though I use the tangent circle. So let's take a look at our constraint tools and fix some of this. So I'm going to start with horizontal, and that's going to fix this line. I'm going to start with vertical, or use vertical next, fix that line. Then I can use tangent and select this one and this one. And you can actually check to see where your constraints are. You can show your constraints here in this menu, but that gets a little confusing to see them all. Or if you hover over the individual lines, you will get the pop-ups for your constraints. So when I hover over this, and if I want to see what it's tangent to, I can do that. If I want to change that, I can actually go in and delete those constraints. And what that means is now it is no longer constrained to being tangent. So if I wanted to fix that, I can just throw it back in, and now everything's tangent again. So let's throw in a couple of dimensions to make things easier. And one of the first things I like to dimension is your arcs. Arcs get kind of screwy when you start moving stuff around, so dimensioning those first is just a good practice. It's not always feasible, but it's nice to do it when you can. So we want 5 inches for that, and we want a 1/2 inch for that. And our distance here and here is going to be 1.25. So that locks pretty much everything in, but you can see that this distance is not the same, and actually I can slide that around, and I got some more things that are moving. So one check to make sure if everything's locked in place is just grab something and move it. If it moves, it's not locked in place. So right now these are not, we'll call it collinear. And we have a couple options. I'll show you, let's see, we can do, let's go with equal. I think equal is the easiest one to understand. So if I make this line and this line equal, whichever one is dimensioned, it's going to pull that from it. And this one just need to be the same. The distance here, because these are tangent, this distance from this line to this line is already set. It's at 1.25. So if I make this line and this line equal, now it's centered. So if I grab that dot again, now nothing's moving. So it's almost locked in place. When you know it's fully locked in place is when all the lines are black. So to lock this fully in place, I would actually have to use a bunch more dimensions, but one cheat is using that origin point. So I just wanted to show you that in this one. If you know that you're going to use that, you can start your drawing from there. So I just used my coincident constraint, and I clicked on the center of that circle, and I clicked on the center origin point. So now everything is locked in place, and I can't move that at all. I'm going to finish my sketch, use the extrude tool. I like to do it from a 3D view, pick one of the top 3, and our depth is 1.25. Oop, I forgot to select a profile. So a profile is a closed shape in a sketch, and you can tell that it's closed because it is gray. If it wasn't a closed shape, it would be white like the background. So make sure you select the sketch profile. It's now extruded to 1.25. And the next tool I want to show you is creating a hole. And we've created holes before, but we've always done it through another sketch. And the less you can do from a sketch in a parametric modeling program like OnShape or Inventor, the better, because it will make editing features easier than having to go back into a sketch every time. Is it possible? Yes, but this just definitely makes things easier. So instead of creating a new sketch, I'm going to go across my feature tools here, and there's one called hole. And what's nice about this is I can actually do counter bore, I can do threaded holes, I can do a whole bunch of work with this. But I'm going to do a through hole, and it's going to be a simple hole, which means it's just a hole straight through the part. And I need to select a location where I want this to happen. And you can see here it's asking for sketch points. So if I wanted to use this tool, I could go into Sketch, make a bunch of points. And if I was going to make, a dozen or so holes, that might be better to do. But I'm only going to make the one. So if I want to select features where I want to put the hole, I need to use this. And this is the same tool. If you're familiar with Inventor, it would be for like assemblies. So if I want it concentric to something that is round, I need to select the round edge. So if I select that edge, I could place it anywhere here, but you can see it's making a hole there. If you accidentally select something like, oops, I accidentally selected that, you can delete it there. But I want it concentric to this circle, so I'm going to select that. And I need to set my diameter, which is 1.25. Enter. Preview looks pretty good. Hit my green check mark. And the last thing is adding in our fillets. So we'll add in a fillet here and add in a fillet there. Our radius for these is 0.25. Enter. Everything looks good. Before you submit, make sure you rotate to a 3D view. Any of the top three are fine. Screenshot this and submit it to Canvas for a grade.